Welcome y'all to the Reality or Not podcast. We going through the second part of the Life After Death album. Here with your boy DJ Reality and your boy Ed, Bad Boy for Life Williams. Eddie, how you doing?
I'm all right, man. That actually wasn't one of the worst nicknames you've thrown in. I mean, I guess some people wouldn't want to be Bad Boy for Life, though, considering. Yeah, actually, it might be kind of bad because, man, don't put no
Are you
baby
talking about
oil
because
on
of the
me.
current stuff?
Yeah, don't put no baby oil on me. I can be Bad Boy. I can be Bad Boy through 2010 just to be safe.
Listen, it was a comedian talking. I can't remember who it was. I gotta remember the video, but I think it might have been Chappelle. I can't remember, but I think it was Chappelle because he was talking. I think it was on the Saturday Night Live, and he was talking. I want to say it's him, but don't quote me. But he was talking about, or one of the comedians was talking about never running out of baby oil. Like people, like
Oh yeah, I
I've
think
never gotten to the bottom of the bottle
yeah,
of a baby
yeah,
oil bottle. Like there's some
yeah.
baby oil out here somewhere that's probably about a smooth 3 years old. And I just literally bought it just because I needed to lather up. I don't know shit what the fuck,
Yeah.
but it's just funny that
He right,
like
yeah.
I've never seen the bottom of a bottle of baby oil.
Nah,
So,
I think if I still have it, I think it's back when when me and John stayed out there in Hazel Park. So this got to be over 10 years.
yeah,
Like,
baby oil
and
don't go.
yeah, like if I don't have it, it's because in one of the moves I just threw it out. But in my mind, I'm picturing the box that it most likely is in, because it's
Mhm.
just like well, you don't think you gonna need baby oil for nothing, but it's a big bottle. It's a big ass bottle, so it's like.
You don't want to
I
get
ain't
rid
throwing
of
no,
it.
I don't want to get rid of it because I mean I don't even remember the reason I bought it the first time, but
Mhm.
I mean you just like I don't I think that was Chappelle on like SNL and like I'm with him like I've never seen an empty bottle of baby oil. And
Still got baby oil from childhood at this point, because I mean,
man,
we mainly use lotion anyway. So
yeah,
it'd be like baby oil is kind of like, I don't know when I would use baby oil, but I've used it
yeah,
before, but
yeah,
it's just
and,
like, I mean, shout out to Puff. I mean,
and I'm not
hopefully,
porn star freaky, so I want to have it for that. Like, hey, I'm probably just vanilla. I don't even understand the point of rubbing baby oil on them. Like, man, I ain't. Hey, look, I ain't trying. Never mind. We ain't gotta go there. We that kind
it's all good. Puff, keep fighting. Hopefully, everything that they're saying against you isn't true.
of
And
Puff
just
listen
keep
to the
fighting.
podcast. Like,
That's right. Shout out to Puff. Puff
hey,
be in the comments and shit.
he gonna be like, man, thanks for the support, dog. You got me through another day.
That's right. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that Puff support. Come on, Puff. You can fight your way out of it. You got it.
He's like, man,
As
he's
long as
like,
it's
yo,
not true.
he was like, man, you got a RSV to the first Diddy party when I get out.
Early hours.
Yeah, he said, no, it's all night, baby.
Take
And you
that.
get
Take
a
that.
and you get a bottle of baby oil to go.
A bottle of baby oil
You know.
wrapped up in the present.
Nah, wait, it's gonna be the first part is gonna be a bring your own, normally people be like bring a bottle of liquor. He gonna be like bring a bottle of baby oil because the feds confiscated all of his. So he gonna be like, man, he's like, I'll supply the liquor, just bring the baby oil.
Oh man, times. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. We talk about the second
Now
album.
he mad at you.
He gonna be in the
Now he
comments
not
mad at me.
yeah,
We're
now
like,
he
man,
mad.
what
Now
the
he
fuck,
mad at
man?
us.
That's
He's
not a
like,
good
I'm
look from me
mad.
right now.
He was like, but that's a good idea though. Bring your own baby oil.
Shout
I'm
out to
still
Reality and
mad
our
though.
podcast.
Yeah, right.
Get that shout out, pup.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. So jumping right into it, second album, Ready to Die, or second disc, Ready to Die. What's it called? Notorious Thugs. It was produced by Stevie J and Puff. How do you feel about that song?
Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I love Big's verse. I like that Big's verse is first. So then, like in those moments that I don't want to continue listening, I can. I'm not a Bone fan. I like their EP that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like their first album. Like I don't care about Crossroads. Like
Wait, were
first
you
of
talking
the,
about the EP or because the
but
EP had
no,
For
the
the Love of
EP,
Money?
yeah, yeah. That's what, like the EP. I was cool with. You had For the Love of Money, Thuggish, Ruggish, Bone. I
Mm-hmm.
think it had like it was only like 5 songs. But then the first full length album, the East 99 Eternal or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what version of Crossroads it was. I don't care about Crossroads or Uncle Charles. Um, I was the track that I like More Murder off of there. And I like First of the Month just 'cause I like that little sing flow. Like it was the first single. Man, I'm not a Bone fan. So like when the album first came out, like I just listened to Big's verse, which I just thought it was dope because I felt like Big pretty much it showed his versatility.
Mm-hmm.
That he could like go into their flow. Um so I liked it for that. Now what I'll say though is that I think and we talked about this with the first disc. We were talking about fuck was it? It was one of those joints you said you thought it had it had aged over time, like it kind of aged. I don't know, whatever.
What
I,
was it? I got a
I,
story to tell.
it might have been where you say you think like over time. Yeah, it was because you said like
Mm-hmm.
you really weren't like a fan of it when it first came out because basically it was in between Niggas Bleed and this joint, Notorious Thugs.
Yeah.
And like, but I think when I listen to this now, like I can continue with it. Like I'll like if it comes on, I'll let it play out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not that much of a Bone fan, but I think in some ways, like over the years, it's kind of I don't want to necessarily say, like maybe grew on me, or maybe it's just like aged a little bit better for me.
Mm-hmm.
That like I'm cool kind of with them, but like I mean,
That song was 6 minutes 7 seconds.
and
I
that's
didn't
the
realize.
thing.
I didn't realize that. I mean, even though it had that interlude leading to the Miss You,
Yeah, but
um,
it's just a long
but that
song.
song was long as hell.
Yeah, just like hearing like man, we talk about Ghost and Ray just saying like nonsensical stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, I feel like Bone is the Midwest version of that sometimes. Um,
I can see that. I
but I
mean,
think
I can't. I'll put it like this. I can repeat some of Busy's, like from this song alone. I could probably repeat some of Busy's lyrics on that song,
mm,
but I didn't really comprehend everything that they were saying. Like they did a
yeah.
ironically they used this song as a sample, but Spit Your Game, Talk Your Shit,
Yep.
where Crazy was on there, and I was like, damn, Crazy spitting. I actually learned his verse just because of the way he was spitting, and he was actually saying some shit in it. But going back to this song,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
don't
know.
really, like I said, I like Busy just because of the way he comes in. But after that,
Mhm.
it just starts running a little bit too long.
Like they all together. Like why Wishbone out here?
Yeah. So
Why is
now
Wishbone broke?
let me ask this question. Do you like this song more or less than the song that they did with Pac?
Man, you know what's funny? Like I've never heard that song.
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah.
Like, but this was not just going off of like how I kind of recognize like Pac and Big. Like I feel like whereas I think Big like adapted his flow to fit in with Bone. 'Cause I think the beat was more probably like a Bone beat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, and I'm assuming you've heard the joint with Pac. Like, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
I like.
I'm assuming. I'm
I thought it was dope. Like a little
okay.
track where it had like it sampled the gun. I thought that was dope. So
Okay, I
like
might listen
it's
to
a
it one
dope
day.
as hell song. It's
I
like
mean,
and it
so
was
I
on
guess
that
that
album.
Art of War, the double album, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And then it was a song that they recorded together too. You know, it wasn't like they just got a Pac verse or anything like that.
Yep.
And that's literally the only artist that's ever done a song with Big and Pac.
And Pac. Yeah, that's kind of what I remember of it. But like I didn't, man, I don't know, man. I just want to feel the Bone. Like, see, Bone probably missed like there was a point in like 94 and 95 that if Pac was on your album, I bought it. Like, you know, I think we said we.
I'm surprised you haven't heard that one.
Yeah, because it's like now with Apple Music, like now probably when we get done with this, I'll probably go listen to it. But I wasn't buying a Bone double album to hear this song. But like that night,
I'm trying to think if I bought that album. I think I did.
Yes, I just wasn't a fan of Bone. But there's a stretch of probably like 93, 94. Like I can remember when it stopped. But if Pac was featured on your album, I was copping it. Like Spice One, America's Nightmare, I probably would have copped regardless, but he had Pac on Jealous One's Envy, so I bought it. Probably the worst album that I bought because Pac was on it was South Central Cartel.
Wait, hold on. Pac was on Fat Joe's first album?
No. It was
I thought you said Jealous One's Envy.
Yeah, I did, but no, it was I think Jealous Got Me Strapped or something like that, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said that, but that was the wrong title. But it was off of Spice One's America's Most Wanted.
Oh, that one, yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
but like South Central Cartel came out with an album, I think, in 95. And they had a Pac verse. And I bought the CD for that. I don't care about South Central Cartel. Never cared about South Central Cartel. But they had a Pac verse. So I bought it. When it came to a hit for me was, you remember that singer Smooth? She had a song on the Minister Society soundtrack.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She had a Pac verse.
Damn, for real?
Yeah. Remember
Pac just throwing verses around, man. Yeah. Like I do not. I remember what was a Smooth song. I remember. I don't remember the Pac song.
Yeah. No, I don't. I've never heard it. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, see, she's on Apple Music. I never because.
Damn, that's crazy.
Because then I was buying CDs, so like she wasn't like like, you know, some CDs will come out, they're only like $12, $13 when they drop. Hers was like $18, $19. Excuse me, man, I could just not justify like copping a Smooth album for a Pac verse. All I did was
I bought America KKK's Most Wanted by Spice One, and I took that shit back to what was it, Believe in Music?
Yeah, that was the one. That was
$18.99.
Yeah, that had the Pac joint.
Yeah, man, that was
and he had a joint with Method on it too.
Yeah, that was the only reason I bought it. It was them two features, because I never liked what's that nigga what's that producer I can't think of his name. Ant Banks. I hated Ant Banks, man. And Ant Banks was all over that album. I mean, to be honest, I didn't really like Spice One. You know, he was cool. I like Trigger's Got No Heart. That was my shit.
Yeah.
You know, so it was just like
187 Proof.
Yeah, but it was kind of like
it
was kind of like transitioning from singles to albums.
Yeah.
And like I said, I literally bought that Spice One album for the Pac and the Method shit, and even the Method shit wasn't that good. It was okay, but because I was buying anything, it wasn't bad. Like it wasn't enough to make you buy the album. You know what I'm saying? Like if that album was on a or if that song was on a Method's album, even though it was kind of West Coasterish, like
it would have been better.
I would have bought the Method Man album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But hell, I own Method Man albums that are like I haven't seen one that was good.
No,
but I bought it just to get, like, Method Man is like Lauryn Hill with, I want to say no talent, but he's like that dude that even though I didn't get a good album before, I would still take a chance and try to, get his new album.
I mean, it's like a low budget Busta Rhymes.
Busta actually got some good albums though.
Yeah, I know that's what people say.
I mean, I feel you. Look, some of them albums I listen to now, they sound very dated. But
I get what you're saying about Meth though.
Yeah, it's like I would still give him a check because Meth go pop up on somebody's song and rip it still to this day. Like he's just that good. He just couldn't put an album together. Which is just sad. Like if niggas say, "Oh, Tecal was a classic," I was like, "Man, y'all got to stop with this." This goes to that revisionist theory that we was talking about on the last podcast. It's like just because you got Bring the Pain, All I Need, the original version, not the remix that was released to the public. I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about with PLO style. It was just like it wasn't a really good album at all. Like it didn't sound good, So
you wasn't rocking with Meth vs. Chef?
Not really. I tried. Listen,
I'm messing with you, dog.
Listen. No. Hear me out. I tried. Like this, when you have to try to listen to something, or somebody say, "Oh no, but just listen to it a little bit more." It's like usually at that point in time for me, I'm at my wit's end of listening to somebody. Like I'll do that with television shows. Like if you say, "Hey, no man, Game of Thrones, you got to binge like 3 or 4 episodes to really get into it." I'll try that. But it's like Rings of Power. I tried it. Like I tried first 2 episodes. That shit's boring to me. Like it just maybe more action happens later on, but I didn't find it to be entertaining enough to take away from my other entertainment. And it's like I'd rather rewatch something else that I really like, or try to catch up on something that I really like. It's almost, like say for instance, All of Us starts tonight. I was watching Black Mirror. It's some noise going on.
My fault.
Okay. No, Black Mirror started on Wednesday. These types, and I mean, when we talked about what's the show on Disney Plus, Daredevil. So like to fit a show in where I already have like 2 different. I finished Black Mirror, but when you have shows that I'm trying to introduce myself to, I'm not really going to do that until I watch the shows that I got in the queue.
That's fair.
And I'll check out an episode or 2 just to see what it's talking about. But when you got like great shows, in my opinion, like Invincible, Vox Machina, which is supposed to start again later on this year. Right. It's hard to like I told you, I give Method Man chances, but it is what it is. Like even you look at the as an example with the Double Up album with Mace, because I really liked the first album a lot. Second album just wasn't that good, So I mean, as I'm listening to it, I'm not gonna go back and listen to it again just because somebody be like, "Well, no, they had that joint on there with DMX that was just hot." It's like, no, I'm just not fucking with it.
You're done with it. Yeah.
Yep. So let's jump to the next one. You got was it Miss You? Hold on one second. Yeah. How do you feel about that one? I think that was produced by Duran. Let me see real quick. I think from KG. Which one Duran did? Duran did one of these songs on his second disc. I feel like he didn't get writer's credit because I think he was talking about this like in his verses. But anyway, he didn't get writer's credit for that song, but he said he produced on it. But how do you feel about that song? It had 112 on it too. So
yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think with Big passing, I think it was kind of one of those. It's prophetic, the right word. It was just like one of those songs like that because I think he was talking about his boy But I think with Big pass and it dropped, it made you think about Big, of course, because he had been, it just passed. Man, it was cool. Like I think when I was looking at this second disc, like I think I said like I like the first disc more than the second one, but I think it's like I think some of this the second disc seemed to be more experimental than the first disc. Like I think the first disc you had like the radio friendly joints with Hypnotize and More Money, More Problems, and you might even say you if you want to throw I Love Doe in there for like the catchy hook and everything like that and the beat, but then like it just had like it had like the classic like Biggie like hip hop joints like the Kick in the Door, Somebody's Gotta Die, like Last
Mm-hmm.
Days, or storytelling joints. Like this one, like we obviously we're gonna get more into it, like, and this song wasn't necessarily experimental as far as like it just seemed like
I
because
got
as
a
I
good
look
one
at
for you. It's
yeah,
easier. We did this on the last pod. It's easier to get rid of a song or get rid of two songs on this album than it
yeah,
is than the first disc.
it is, yeah, and like Miss You isn't bad. It's not.
It's just kind of
You know,
the energy of the song.
yeah,
It's not a, it's not what we're like you said, experimental. It's not what we're used to from Big,
right.
and that's cool because I mean we definitely want to see other sides of
Yeah.
artists, so we want to see them get a little bit more personal and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But this one, like I said, it wasn't a bad song. I like the song, but it's not like anything that, um, like I said, that'd probably be the first song I would get rid of. Doing to get rid of two songs off of an album.
It won't be your
So
first.
you said what?
It won't be your first.
It wouldn't be my first.
No, we gotta get to the next track, and then that'll be your first.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah, we
give you
got another.
the
We got another
yeah.
featuring Lil Kim, produced by Puff and Stevie J.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'll jump right into that one and say that's probably the first one I would get rid of.
Yeah.
That I mean, like I said, Miss You. So I'm a backtrack a little bit because I'm looking further down the track listing, and you know, it would. I feel like this album, I could say, hey, pick four songs and get rid of them,
You could. You could.
and without a problem. Like it wouldn't. I don't
Yeah.
think that I would debate within myself on songs to get rid of from this album. So, but how do you feel about another produced? Oh, I said produced by Puff and Stevie J. Stevie J did a lot of production on this album.
Mhm. Song's trash.
Yeah,
That
I
I
give you
don't
that.
like. I don't, trash. Like I don't even. Like I said, it was trash. Now this is my third time saying it. I've spoken more about this song than it deserves.
Okay, cool. Let's jump right into going back to Cali. Then, going back to Cali, Easy Mo B. That's another thing too. Easy Mo B was, I don't know if he did. Did he do anything on All Eyes on Me?
I
I'm
don't
trying to
know.
think because he produced a lot of what's the album? He produced your favorite song too. Um
Oh, yeah. Hey, yo, Mo B, drop that. Yeah, you know what? I could freestyle Mo B just for that.
so
Crazy
can't cancel
trash
10
for
crack
that.
commandments.
Yeah,
Oh, not 10 crack, but going back to Cali, but I don't know how I feel about this song. Like it's not a bad
it's not
song,
bad.
but it's just not it's a song that I don't listen to.
Yeah.
Um it really didn't age well. Um but it's listening to Big. Most of this music from both of these discs, not I mean, I think the production is pretty good, but it's
Mhm.
like this song, in my opinion, just kind of I I felt like it was I don't know, could be a throwaway song.
Yeah.
Um,
Like,
but I
I
don't know. That's my sentiments. How you feel about it?
pretty much the same. Like, I wasn't necessarily like a big fan of this song when it first came out. And I don't know if it was the fact that like Big was talking about going back to Cali and it had been the beef and they ended up getting killed in Cali. And I don't know if people was just trying to swing the narrative like, dang man, Big wasn't even beefed out with Cali. It was just Pac, he loved Cali, blah blah blah. I don't know if
Hmm.
it was that sentiment that made people like it wasn't like to what you said, like it's not something I go back and listen to. Like, man, I guess if somebody would have like, if you were, and see this thing, I don't even know where it gets thrown on at. Like, I don't know. Only way I can see the song getting thrown on in like some kind of party or club atmosphere is if they're doing like a Biggie appreciation night, and
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know, they 20 songs in, and they like shit. Let's throw I'm going back to Cali.
I
Um,
never play this song.
yeah, that's what
It
I'm saying. Like it must be it must be an all day Biggie event, and you telling yourself like, hey, I ain't gonna repeat no Biggie joints.
yeah, that
Oh,
I would damn near play freestyles from like Mr. C or something like that before I play this. I
yeah,
mean, because it's some stuff like that like with seeing him rapping with Pac and was it Shaheem was on there and Big
oh
Daddy
yeah, that
Kane,
yeah,
so it's kind of like I'd rather hear that than this. Like
yeah,
it's not a this where when people I think the album is a pretty good album. I
mm-hmm.
want to say it's classic based off of his legacy, but it's not classic in the sense that like I consider a classic album being able to listen to it. I mean, and don't get me wrong, this isn't taking away from the appreciation of Big, but it's like there's certified skips on the second disc.
yeah,
And you know, there hasn't been too many albums where there weren't any skips, but at the same time, like say for instance with Reasonable Doubt, I consider that a classic album,
yeah.
even if I skip Ain't No Nigga. Like I
Mm-hmm.
skip Ain't No Nigga just because of the energy of the song comes in, from I think
Yeah,
it's like track 10 or 9 or something like that. But, it's just a different energy to the rest of the album. So I get why the song was made, and it's a good song, but
mm-hmm.
but I would still hold that one in classic regard. I feel like some of
Right,
these songs with the experimentation can
yeah,
I mean, I guess some people would think that it's classic because he's trying different things, but trying different things can cause you to hit or miss.
yeah,
So
definitely, yeah. And
yeah,
that's how I feel about this one.
yeah. So how you feel about player hater or not player hater, but 10 Crack Commandments, Primo production, Biggie going through the whole 10 Crack Commandments.
Yeah,
How you feel about this one?
I mean it's cool. I think what he did on the first disc, he did what was that track for?
Kicking the door.
Kicking the door. Like I don't necessarily think it's better than kicking the door. Um, for every reason, sometimes I think about like Chuck D talked about just being upset that like his voice was sampled for this. But I don't know that really like influences how I feel about the song. Like it's short.
Hmm.
Uh, man, it's not bad. Like if I were to like
I
pair this
like the way the
song,
sample was flipped.
yeah, exactly. Like if I were to like say, okay, I'm gonna make this like a 15, 16 track album,
Hmm.
like I can see this track making the cut. Like now it'd probably be toward like it might get in around like somewhere between 14 and 16.
Hmm.
Um, but it would make the cut. Like it's man, I and I think like looking at this going to let's looking at this too. Like man, I think it falls victim into like I don't really think there's any continuity on this too. While as I'm looking at it,
Yeah, yeah.
it
No,
would just seem like a
I was
flow.
just thinking about that. I was thinking about that. I was
Yeah,
like, damn, it's like a lot of just shots in the dark, in my opinion. And I'm thinking about it like people go in on like actually like the Blueprint 2 album, but I do see where there were missteps, but
hmm
almost see it in the same vein as this album where like it was dope shit, and then it was terrible shit. I don't think a track off of Blueprint 2 was as terrible as Another
no,
and as Nasty Boy.
yeah, nah,
Um
yeah. I think you're right. Like looking at 10 Crack Commandments. If 10 Crack Commandments had made it on the first disc,
mhm.
like say they might have swapped out "Fucking You Tonight" and put on 10 Crack Commandments instead.
Mhm.
Like I think we probably hold 10 Crack Commandments in a higher regard.
Definitely.
Uh,
Yeah.
I just think like you look at where it's placed at between going back to Cali and Player Hater. Those just aren't too like, and just on the disc that it's on, it just doesn't. Just don't
Doesn't give it
fit.
justice. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
like
I'll say this: if you take 10 Crack Commandments and replace what's the joint? The Havoc track. You replace the
last
Havoc
day.
track.
Yeah, last
Yeah,
day.
replace that track
Yeah.
and just release that 12 track album. I feel like the album would, well, I mean, I think it's held in high regard anyway, but I
Mhm.
would hold it in extremely high regard as far
Yeah.
as the quality of music. Because, like I said, I mean, there's songs on this disc that are good. Some are great, you know. I mean, because I mean, but it takes a minute to get to them, right? So,
Yeah.
like the world is filled was something that wasn't tried. You know, you throw Biggie with Too
Too
Short,
short.
you
Yeah.
know, but it's a dope ass song, you know, but and it's weird, you know, going back and we'll talk about that in a second, but going back to it and thinking like that nigga Too Short was talking about nigga, I'm 30 years old and here we are in our 40s talking about this shit. I'm
Yeah.
like, and niggas is still rapping and shit, which is
Right. Yeah.
crazy. But
Yes.
it's little things like that. That nigga said he was that nigga that nigga had a condom, a gold condom. Was that his 10th anniversary, 15th anniversary? I can't
Oh.
remember,
Oh
but
yeah.
it was a gold ass condom, used condom on the cover of a CD, and I was like, damn, that is
Yeah.
okay. Too Short, we get
That shit crazy. Yeah.
it. Oh shoot! So let's
Oh,
jump. I know it was more so an interlude or just a short, it was a song, but it was, in my opinion, meant to be, you know, just to show Biggie's comedic side.
hmm,
But how do you feel about
yeah.
Player Hater?
Kind of like what you just said. Like, I mean, it wasn't something to take seriously, and I kind of think like looking at this disc, the second disc with the tone of it, like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of fits in with it, but like it's not like says it's not. Uh, it's comedic. Like if you just like, man, you want to hear Biggie like, singing off key or whatever. Like
Mm-hmm.
it ain't something that like I rush to. But if I put this album on to listen to it,
Mm-hmm.
I'll let it go. Probably chuckle, but like it's
Mm-hmm.
not. Um, man, I guess it all goes back to like looking at this now. Like man, it's still kind of like the experimental portion. Like it was just all over the place. In some ways, it probably feels like kind of like a filler joint
Mm-hmm.
because if you were trying to put together a concise 12 to 14, like if you were to do 12, 14, like if you were to make this 14 tracks,
Mm-hmm.
like there's no way that you put Nasty Boy on here because you like, yo, I'm trying to put like 14 dope tracks. I ain't putting on no filler shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but apparently, like when you got 24 tracks to do, you no, you can fill in a filler. Like, I don't, like you said, it's, I'm not gonna judge it like as harshly as I'm gonna judge like another, because I think
Mm-hmm.
another, you really did intend to make a song. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you were, and here, like I think you were just like, hey man, I'm gonna go in the studio and clown around, and then like, oh shit, let's just throw this on the album for shits and giggles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so that I mean that's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, but I feel like this almost goes to that experimentation of taking this track, putting it on the first disc, shortening it to like a minute as an interlude or as a joke,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
going from there rather than having it like a 3 or 4 minute track.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
cool.
so like I remember back in the day, the conversations was like, well, why is he singing? Why is he da da da? But I took it as humor and entertainment and stuff
Yeah,
like that. So it would have been a good. I didn't consider
interlude.
it a song, So
Right,
I consider this like they was in the studio. They was tired of fucking recording other songs and shit, and they needed a break. And Big
right,
just started singing and shit, and Puff was like, "All right, we go do something with that."
right.
You know.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm with you.
So, all right. So the next track is "Nasty Boy," which is Fully Combs' Production. How do you feel about that track?
Explains if it was all him.
There you
I mean, I think I remember a Clue tape, and Clue flipped this and put it under like a Jackson 5 sample. I can't remember the song,
go.
but like I liked it a lot better then, better than what this was. And I think even on the on the album that they dropped after he died, I think they at least took. I don't know if they took the whole song or like the first verse,
Mm-hmm.
um, and they put it on that. What was the name of that album that came out after he died? Born Again. Was it Born? No, it wasn't Born Again.
I was born again,
It
I
was
think.
not. It was Born Again was an album, but then there was another one where like it was like a drawing of him on the album. Like I want to say the clips were on there. Like they got like they took like existing verses
Mm.
and just flipped them on.
I'm trying to think. I
'Cause,
can't
yeah,
think
this is
of.
the one. This was the one where Jagged Edge was on there.
And then what a nasty boy.
Yeah,
Nasty boy. Hated
what was
that
that
shit.
album
I
on?
never liked Jagged Edge, so whatever.
I want a big Jagged Edge fan to eat that. What was it? Because yeah, they had like Hold Your Head
Oh,
featuring
you talking
Big
about the
Party
shit with
stuff.
Spit Your Game on it, right? The
Yeah,
duets.
yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
duet, bigger
yeah,
duets.
yeah. And so, um, but like I think the verses on that ST Boy, at least as I'm trying to remember, at least like the verses weren't necessarily horrible.
Now
Like
he's spitting. It's
yeah,
not a bad song. I
it's
think
just like
it's just not a good. It's not a. I don't know how to
like
explain.
experiment.
It's like another, in my opinion, is a bad song.
Yeah,
Nasty Boy is like a. It's a.
it's
If
like
it
that
was placed,
experimental shit again.
yeah, if it was placed on Diddy's No Way Out,
Yeah,
I would probably have a different respect for it.
right. Yeah,
Just because it's like that's Diddy's lane.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's just a song. I don't listen to it, but whenever I listen to it, I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. But when it comes on, it's like when I know a girl, well, no, I don't even want to equate it to that one. But when I know what girls like come on with Puff or with Jay and Lil Kim,
right.
automatically skip that shit. That shit is
Yeah,
terrible. But this one, in my opinion, it didn't fit the album, but it's not a bad song. Like I said, if this was a song that was on a No Way Out, fucking with Puff and stuff like that, or even if it was, I don't know, a Mace song featuring Biggie or something like that, and
right.
you only have like one verse on there, and you have Mace on another song. It's like it fits that lane, but it's that experimentation that was going on that I want to say I don't hold it in high regard, but
Yeah,
it was really fucking up the second disc for me. So,
no, it was. Yeah, it
but
was a lot.
how do you feel about what's the next joint after that? You got Sky's the Limit.
Oh, yeah. Um, it was cool. I remember the video where they had the little young kids playing
That
the
shit was dope.
roles or whatever.
That made me like the song a lot more.
Yeah,
Um,
like I think it's similar to like Miss You, where it was like it was just like damn, Big's gone, and then like you on top of that you throw the video in there, where like
mhm.
but like once again, I mean I think it was like thinking about it like I think some of it was like a rags to riches kind of like vibe to it, like so it was kind of like maybe like a sequel to Juicy in some ways. It seemed like some like a little bit,
I
but
see
I
that.
had 112 singing and everything, and like I mean. Yeah, because this is when he's talking about like what the having a fake alligator. He was like punch him in the fire, like wow,
Mhm,
stay in your place.
mhm.
Nah, I mean it was man, I liked it, man. I think as we just talking about this second disc, man, I think it's just like the second disc is just like just really
It's
This
cluttered.
yeah, cluttered, and it's
Yeah.
if you like I said, if I were to pare this down to like 14 or 16 songs, like just trying to make a one album, like just say maybe 14, this
Hmm.
could make the cut. Like, I mean, like I said, I like it. Like it's like when you think of the vein of her, like Puff would, like we Puff would try to would like tell Big, like get Big to like kind of like the radio joints, even
Hmm.
though Big just want to do the hardcore joints. Like I feel like this is a joint that like Puff probably be like, hey Big, this one for the radio, and I think this is one of the radio joints that like like I was just said the video was dope as hell. But like I
Hmm.
think even if you would like be able to still been here, if they would have possibly dropped it as a single, you would have seen like Big doing interviews talking about like some of the story, like part of the storytelling skills, some of the things he was saying in there. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
I like it. I like it. I think as we talking about this, man, I just think like the second disc is just, and it's not even that it's bad. It's just like there's no, you said it's
Continuity.
continuity. Yeah, it's just that, but
Yeah.
like it's not a bad song though. Like I like it. Uh,
Like. I'll say this. I really like the song a lot. When I first heard it, I thought like, why are we trying to do like this commercial thing? But I feel like this is
uh
one of those songs that age well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and watching the video made me appreciate it even more. I mean, I've always said if I ever got a tattoo, I would get like the one of the lines from this song where he says, "Stay far from timid, only make moves when your heart's in it, and live the phrase sky's the limit." That's
Yeah.
like one of my favorite like mottos or things that I look up to as far as just doing your own thing, killing it, and never think like you can only go so far. Like
Yeah.
always pushing to get to the next level, even if you don't reach it, at least you're trying.
Yeah.
Um, so that's how I always felt about the song. I thought it was like the video with Buster and all his kid, like it was dope to me. Like it really
Yeah.
changed my view of listening to this second disc um compared to what I was listening to before, because it was literally
Right.
only like the first disc. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I was listening. I listened to. It's funny you mentioned earlier that yeah, I would listen to Big's verse and
Yeah.
probably jump to it. Like Miss You reminds me, and we'll go through this album, but it reminds me of Shorty Want to Be a Thug. Like as far as my
Uh,
disdain for the song, and when it comes on, um, with Tupac, All Eyes on Me and shit,
yeah. Yeah.
um, like it just the energy is kind of like the air is being let out the balloon in
Got
that song for me.
you.
But back to Sky's the Limit, I thought it was dope when I, got to really, get into it. And then the fact I forgot the singer that it samples. It sampled what's the dude now? I can't think of his name, but he was a famous dude in the 90s, but singer. But yeah, I really like the song a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's solid. I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got The World Is Filled. That was produced by D Dot. Featuring Too Short, Puff, and Carl Thomas' first appearance on Bad Boy.
Okay.
How do you feel
Oh,
about that one?
man, I like it. I think as we go on to this, I'm looking at like I think including Sky's the Limit. So I think these last 5 songs is kind of what makes.
It's back heavy.
Yeah, yeah. Makes me say like
I'm-
going through this, it's like you're looking at like we talking about the first half. I'm like, shit, damn, was this really that good? And then like looking at these last 5 though, like yeah, these is like you said, it's back heavy. This is what makes the second disc. Like this is like, and I think this one is like the even to some degree, it's maybe a little bit of an experimental vibe, but like I think in some ways though, it kind of like with Too Short being West Coast and everything, I think the beat kind of gives a. It's not like a complete West Coast vibe, but it kind of got a
Mhm.
little bop to it, to where like
Yeah, it's some
short.
smooth shit. Like whether it's like West Coast or whether it's like Suave House, Memphis, Rap a Lot type of shit. Like it really reminds me of Hoes in the Club Show Enough, shaking that ass in the club. Like it gives that like riding music type of shit, you know, even like Space Age Pimpin', you know, by 8Ball and MJG. It gives like some riding shit that's like the world is filled with pimps and hoes. We're just talking about those I know. It's just like it's just a vibe, you know. It's almost like the song 2 Chainz. It's a vibe. Like it's something that you could just ride to and it just feels good, you know. And then to hear Biggie flow like that, you know, the Remy's in the system, ain't no telling will I fuck on, will I diss him? That's what they be yelling. I'm a pimp up. You know, it was like his cadence was dope on the song. So, and then even like Puff, I told you Puff.
Yeah, we talked about this. Like,
I'm not gonna say it, but I can almost say I like Puff's verse in this song more than I like Big's verse.
Yeah, I mean, it was like we talked, like saying that, like, you know, when we talked about the first, they're saying like didn't care for it, like really was like could do away with his verse on like More Money, More Problems. Like it wasn't like it was like, but
it didn't have the impact. I think this verse has an impact on the song.
Yeah, like if you take Puff off this, it's like it ain't the same. Like
it's a whole different vibe. I don't even feel like Too Short and Biggie carried us. Like, don't get me wrong, I think they had good verses, but like I don't think that those 2 verses are enough to make it a full song. Like it's almost like you add the original pimp to the song with Too Short, and then you show everything from the Bad Boys perspective with Big and Puff. Like they both have like really solid verses, and Too Short is just coming in to confirm those verses. You know, because it's not like Too Short said anything that was just like, you know, but you know, it's like, oh man, speaking of that, I was DJing earlier and I was just thinking about this random, but Too Short, if you listen to his verse on what's this shit, Blow the Whistle, like that nigga is literally just talking about his album journey. Like and how much people fuck with him and shit. Like you really go through like he's like 2 singers and 10 comedians talk about how they say bitch and shit. I was like that, like he was literally just talking shit about, you know, his album career. I could go on and on. Can't believe that it lasts so long. I must got superpowers. You know, like he's literally talking about like his career within music. I was like, damn, that's a unique way to do it. So
that's kind of dope.
But let's see what we got. We got My Downfall. Carlos Brody produced this one. Carlos Brody and Nasheem Myrick. That's featuring DMC. You know what's funny about this? Just a random thing. But when I saw featuring DMC, I did not equate that to DMC from Run DMC.
Really? That's funny.
I just thought it was, I was like, who the fuck is DMC? Because that's the first time ever in music, at least from my viewpoint, for me to see that name without Run in front of it.
Well, you're probably right. Yeah.
So, right. But I mean, you know, eventually I was like, oh, well, that's DMC. But like when I first saw DMC, I was like almost like, who is that? Because we didn't have solo. There was no. It's just like seeing this song, you see My Downfall featuring Run.
Right.
Like in my opinion, I would have to think about who Run is. I wouldn't think that it's. I would figure that it'll either say Run from Run DMC, or DMC from Run DMC or something like that. But you know, but how do you feel about this song?
I like it, man. Man, you got Puffy doing. Yeah, this one Puffy doing this little.
I love the shit. I love the shit talking on this song.
Yeah,
the shit talking on this song is so amazing. Jealousy's a motherfucker. You weak, jealous motherfucker. If you a jealous motherfucker, you just a weak motherfucker. See, motherfuckers don't even know why they don't like you. You know, like that's like that. Like I said, I was only fucking shit. What was that 97? So I was like 20.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, it was just like, yeah, fuck y'all, nigga. Like, we don't fuck with none of y'all. Like, jealousy, fuck you. You know. But yeah. What's the rest of your feelings? Because I really like this song a lot.
Yeah, no, I just like you said, it's a little random puff, and then just like the beat, like big, like this is man. Like I said, I'm gonna like these last 5 joints. Like I'm gonna say, like I like them all. Like this is what redeems the second disc for me, and like this song is just up there. Like it was dope all the way around. Like it was, man, kind of like I said on some of the joints on the first disc. Like man, it's just big, man. And like this, what I think this is like big, and like you get like the little, like you said, you get the puff ranting and everything, and man, just and I think when you think about like what was going on for Big at the time, like I think this, and some of this probably like these last, especially these last four joints, like it was like, especially like the world is filled of my downfall, or just talking about my downfall specifically. You think about everything that he was going through, like with the beef and everything, like man, it's just like he probably, like yeah, like you said, jealousy, like people preying on his downfall, like it was like yeah, okay, yeah, like nah, it was dope though. I'm with you. I love the joint too.
So moving on, we talking about was it Long Kiss Goodnight? I'm always like, for this one's always tricky for me because when I first heard it, I wasn't into it.
Right.
And ironically, back in the day, the first thing I would do is I would read the credits.
Yeah.
But I didn't read the credits for the second disc right away. I was more, I don't know if it's like, maybe it was just a thing back then for me, but I would look and see what songs Primo produced.
Yeah.
And I didn't care about the other, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like to pay attention to producers, but I didn't really pay close attention at the time that RZA had produced this.
Right. Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. So then when I went through and listened to it, because like I said, this is one of the verses that he did on the LA freestyles or whatever, with the make your mouthpiece obese like Della Reese, when I release you loose, like, and when I heard that freestyle, because the freestyle was released maybe about, I think like after the album release, then I went and I was like, wait a minute, that's the same verse from the other song.
Yeah.
So then I started listening. I was like, damn, like this is probably the best lyrics. This is probably the best lyrics on the album, period. Like as far as a song and full song structure, it wasn't like, jumping around, having Puffy was on there talking shit too. But
that first verse though.
Yeah, but it was just like, damn, this nigga is like killing. And then it was like, is he talking about Big? I mean, is he talking about Pac and da da da?
Yeah.
And it's like it grew to be one of my favorite songs. As far as lyrics, especially on this disc. It still falls, like I would put it behind. I would still put it behind Sky's the Limit. But that would probably be it, unless I do what's the like you're nobody's till somebody gonna kill you. But yeah, dope ass song.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, no. Yeah, I can get on board with that. Sky's the Limit, Long Kiss Goodnight. Although, like you said, I do really like Hear Nobody Till Somebody Kills You, though. But Long Kiss Goodnight, though, like with the lyrics, though, like, yeah.
Yeah, and this, so tell me this. I mean, this is like not totally veering, but like this is always weird to me. And there's been interviews talking about this, but like with Raekwon and Ghostface beefing with, or not beefing, but calling out Big for the album with the Nas shit, and then RZA producing this, and then Method Man on the first album. Like, how do you like? I mean, I don't want to say is it going against the clique or whatever, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to ask the question. I'm just curious on like,
don't think so. Like I think it was. I mean, we talked about this the last episode where I think like Meth was. I remember Meth was on MTV or something. He was just like, man, Ray Ghost. The niggas just hate everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think like I think if it would have been like true beef, like they probably wouldn't have like Meth and RZA probably maybe wouldn't have like worked with Big. But I think like I mean I gotta think like it was probably some. Oh man, they just hate it, man. Big though. I'm gonna record with Big. Like I'm gonna produce this beat for him. I'm gonna hop on this joint with him. Like like these dudes, they just hate it. Like I think over the years we've seen from the Wu, I think we all know like they're a clique, but they're all just like their own individuals as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think when you look at the Wu, like you probably look at like Ray and Ghost, and it's probably more just off of like their history between Iron Man and Only Built for Cuban Links. You probably look at like they're probably like the closest, but you kind
Mm-hmm.
of get the impression though like they're their own individuals though. They're like, man, like if they was just like talking shit about Big just to talk shit, like man, when Rizzo said like, hey man, I'm about to get Big this beat, like even if they would have had some beef with it, Rizzo might have been like, man, Big ain't shoot you. He ain't smash your baby moms. Like, man, I ain't
Ain't no
turning
real
down.
beef.
Yeah,
Ain't
ain't
no
no
real
real
beef.
beef. I ain't turned down no opportunity to like make this and like Memphis like man, like I got a chance to rhyme with Big man. Like
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna do this because y'all hopping on an interlude talking about his album, talking about y'all trying to like you know pair up with Nas and things like that. So like I don't think it was like I said, like I think like you've seen documentaries or you've seen interviews over the like past so what's 30 years now, like with the Wu. Like I just think they're it's like 10 of them if you include Capadonna, man. That's like a lot of different personalities that like I said, I think if it was like real beef, like if it was like I feel like if it was real beef, like nobody would have worked with Big then. But I think the fact, like I think in some ways you see that like Meth worked them when the RZA did this, like you got because then you even think like Puff did the remix to like You're All I Need. So
Yeah.
like it's not like it's not like the Wu had like some as a whole had a history of having some beef with like Bad Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I mean I don't know. Like I kind of like I said like I think Beth like kind of Beth just said like man, and it sounds like you think about like you can kind of see Ghost and Ray like just hating, just to hate.
Nah,
Like
that's funny because when you look at it, you look at like I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that because I didn't forget that he produced, but it's one of those like that was at the same time that they was saying stuff, and it's
uh,
like when you put it all together, and you be like, okay, Puff did this, um, uh, RZA did this, and Meth was over here and blah blah blah. It's like it really points to them niggas just straight up hating and shit,
mhm.
which is crazy to me. Like, so let me ask you this question: do you? Because I just looked up a second ago. Nas came out April of '94,
Mhm.
um, and Big came out. I think it was like September of '94. I think it's
Yeah,
September
yep,
28th or somewhere around there.
yep.
Um, do you feel that there's any? And I'll say this. I mean, I don't want to like formulate your response or give you a narrative, but I feel like within the black community in general, if you do something that's similar to someone else, it's considered biting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
Even if that wasn't the intentions behind it. Like I'll say for the Ready to Die. I mean, even for the Ready to Die cover, I don't see the similarities. I mean, I see the similarities as far as like having a child and this is you, growing up, but
yeah,
I don't see the similarities as in the way that because you got the Illmatic with the Queensbridge in the background. and then like you just got just a child, like a baby, just sitting on the cover of the Biggs album. So like, do you feel like it was a form of biting? You know,
Nah, man. Only thing I could think of was just like if there was an influence to say like, oh man, that's dope, man. Nas put a young picture of himself like a young boy, not even a baby, just like a young kid.
mm-hmm.
Like, hey man, like we should do this like with the maybe we should do this with the baby. Like if it was to come out and like Puff would say like, yeah man, we were kind of influenced by what we saw Nas did. Man,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but that's not to me. That's not Biden though. Biden would have been big putting like a a a boyhood picture of himself with with Bed-Stuy like in the background. Like that would have been Biden, but like I can't think of any hip hop like albums off the top of my head, but I gotta believe like Illmatic isn't the first hip hop album that had like maybe it was, but I mean, is Illmatic the first album that had like a boy in the background and like, but like only thing you might get me on is that maybe there was an influence to say like, hey, that's kind of dope. Like they got like a young picture of Nas. Hey, we should do it. Like, but like you said, like it's a all white background. Like it's just white, like a baby just like looking like a baby sitting on some type of floor, and then you just got like the Notorious Big ready to die. Like you don't like I don't. To me, it ain't Biden. Like it was but see, I also think like you think about the comments that you've heard Nas make at times. Like I think Nas is one of them people who I think I think Nas at times, like I think Nas, and I don't know if it's really how Nas feels, like, cause I don't, you know, I ain't spoken to Nas, I ain't dapped him up in like some years.
It's been a
But
while.
yeah, it's been a while, so I ain't
Yeah,
been
and my
deep in
bad.
his
I had
mind.
to mute the phone because or mute the call
Because
because
the lady,
lady was back there howling like a motherfucking shit.
yeah,
Like, shut your ass up,
yeah,
bitch.
I heard
Like,
it. Man, that's crazy.
I was like, well, let me just try to mute it real quick and shit. I'm like, shut your ass up. Like, I mean, I love it to
Well,
death though, but motherfucking sirens and shit. I'm like, man, be
set
torturing
off,
my girl.
yeah, see, blame the sirens. But no, I think Nas sometimes tries to find like, and I don't know if Nas went to Ghost. We don't know how that interlude came about. We don't know if like they ran with it because like Nas had told him like, hey man, you see Big biting me? Like I
Mhm.
think um at times I feel like Nas. It seemed like when Nas was younger, he operated in some kind of paranoia.
Mhm.
Um, and because I remember Nas one time he said, because you know Biggie had that verse on Victory, and he said something to the fact like, uh, your, your destiny is in my hands or something like that.
Mhm.
And Nas was like, man, yeah, you know that people don't know that was like a shot at me because my daughter's name was Destiny.
Nobody cares about you, nigga.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
that's
like
and
nobody
that's
cares.
yeah,
Like I told you, I feel like I've had haters, but
yeah,
I don't feel like I had a hater as in like a made up hater. Like it ain't a lot of people that hate me, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
like I think Big kind of I really didn't see him addressing him on kicking the door, like I
Nah,
said,
yeah,
like New York artists, they tend to do subliminals, and
yeah,
I didn't see the shot, but
yeah,
they'll say it, and I mean, if it's true, it's fine. I mean, I'm not going to deny, their truth, but at the same time, it's just like don't nobody care about you, man. Like it's so much
nah,
easier just to make dope ass music and keep it moving. Like nobody, like even Nas would go to the point and say, "Oh man, but me and Tupac, we
we
hash
made
things
up.
out." Like
Yeah, we
nigga,
hugged.
like I've been impacted by Machiavelli and
Yeah,
by it was a series of Machiavelli CDs that was dropping
right.
that he was still going in on Big. He was still going in on Nas. He was still going he was going in on LL. He was going in on fucking the Fugees and shit. Like
everybody was catching it, man.
Everybody could catch it. Like so, I don't care if somebody say that he passed it up or not. It's like nigga, like the way Pac left this earth and with his music that he left, that niggas. I mean, even Suge said something about they squashed it. But when I listen to Machiavelli, I'm listening to that nigga talk about Pac. He's slightly mentioning Jay-Z. And I actually I listened to an interview with him. He was like, he ain't had no beef with Jay-Z. He just did that because he was associated to Biggie.
Right.
So there's little stuff like that. It's like, but still, I mean, shit, what's the song Jay-Z has on the Blueprint 2 that I absolutely hate? With Me and My Bitch sample.
Oh,
it's like I still like that's one song I'm like, why did he do this one? Even if Pac quote unquote say he had no beef with, I was like, like why redo that song from an album that he was hating on niggas? So
yeah, I remember that. So
all right. Well, we jump to the last song. How do you feel about You're Nobody's Till Somebody Kills You? Produced by Puff. I didn't realize Puff produced this whole song.
Interesting. That's a far cry from what was the other joint
Another?
did?
Another?
Yeah, that's
totally left and right.
Yeah, he's okay. I think Big might start production for somebody on this one. I like the joint, man. Like I said once again, I think this joint, Miss You, and to a degree, Sky's the Limit. I think they're all joints that it's like you listen to some people, they be like, yo, man, I think Big knew he was on go, man. He was giving these joints talking about, man, you know about it till somebody kills you. But I thought it was dope. But even you get to the end of the joint where he's like talking about push the champagne range and then got his top blew off or something. He's like dark skinned Jermaine. See what I mean? Like it was just like man, like I said, man, I think with this second disc, man, it closed out strong with these last 5 joints, and I think this one is up there too. Like like I said, I think the best songs on this second disc are like the last 5. I don't know if I'm doing an order. Like I think I agree with you that I think Long Kiss Goodnight will probably go in there. It's funny, like I say the last 5 joints. I think the last 4 are like just to some degree, like I'm thinking about the production. They're a little bit darker. But Sky's the Limit.
That's how we saw Big though at times.
Yeah.
He was kind of like he found a balance between like dark and and positive music. But I feel like it's such a large range between like You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You and then Nasty Boy.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like if it was sequenced. I don't want to say if it was sequenced differently, but because I mean Puff is really good for putting it'd be like some dark shit or then it'd be like Juicy and then it'd be like then it'd be I don't know, just something it's just weird to see. Like I always have this problem with Common's One Day It All Makes Sense album. But I don't think it was as bad as this second disc, but it just it had a lot of songs on there that were just out of sequence to me. It was like, well, why is this De La Soul song right here? And I didn't even think it was a good song, but just in general, like it was just, well, I don't know. I might, as far as it being cluttered, I might put it in the same vein because, like I said, if it was organized better, I don't really see a song on there though that's as bad as
Another.
Was that Another?
Nasty Boy.
Yeah, I don't really see Common's attempt at that. Maybe the song that he had as his first single with I can't even think of Shantae. Is it Shantae Moore? Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. I know. I can't remember the title, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Remind Me of Self.
Yeah. Yep. That's it. Yeah, that might have been the closest, but that wasn't even.
But that was a good song though. Like I
Yeah,
like that song.
yeah,
You know, but honestly, you look at that song, that could have been Puff's influence as far as, you know, the type of, because you go from, and I mean, we at the end, but I don't want to, you know, go too deep on that one, but you'll have it where you go from I Used to Love Her, Watermelon, all of these songs on
Resurrection.
Resurrection,
Yeah,
and going into One Day It All Makes Sense, where you have this kind of
trying to make that play to
poppy
radio.
song to catch the radio.
Yeah,
Um,
no,
so
definitely.
so let me ask you
Like,
this question. We did this on the last one, but I'm gonna do a little bit more songs. If you have to get rid of 4 songs on this album, which ones would you get rid of on this disc? I mean,
I'll, I don't go with the argument and say like, what 2 or 4 would you move up to the first? This like, but talking about just getting rid of 4 to get rid of.
bro,
Yeah,
listen. If you so you got 8, so it's 12 songs. 8, one of them's an interlude. Take that down to 7. This 12. You have 19 songs on the first disc. Um, I
like
don't
I'm
think
getting
that's
rid of.
bad. I mean,
Nah, but well,
because how many songs was on the first album? The first album had a night at least
nah, but,
16, from what I
yeah,
remember.
yeah, 19 just it's just an extra long album. Like, but if you're talking about just 4 to get rid of, then I'm definitely doing another. I'm gonna do play. No, we said that was. I'm gonna do Nasty Boy. Uh, I'm gonna do Going Back to Cali. Um, and I'm probably gonna take off Miss You. Like
Same,
Notorious Thugs,
exact
yeah,
like no.
Notorious Thugs gets to stay for like Big's verse, but also because
Mm,
I think in some ways it has kind of like grown on me a little bit over time. But like I really like we talking about sequencing and all that, man. Man, in some ways I kind of look at this shit like, man, these niggas got in the studio, they did a bunch of songs, and they was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do the Life After Death, and they put the first disc together, like we're gonna keep it 12 songs, and this is
mm-hmm,
what they came up with, and then niggas was like, man, they saw like Puff had done, like Pocket did a double, and then they was like, man, let's do a double, man. Like,
mm-hmm,
man, you know what, like. Hey, let's just figure out what the next 12 best songs are that we recorded and just throw them on the second disc. Like, I feel like more thought was put into sequencing the first disc than there was the second disc.
yeah,
Like it just seems like, or it seems like, man, or it seems like they did like these last 5 joints, and they're like, yo, man, these joints is dope. They was like, but man, there'll be a 17-song album if we do that. Man,
mm-hmm,
hey, let's get this money, man. Let's make it a double. Like, cause hey, we can find 7 more joints to throw on another. Like, we got 7 more, and then they
mm-hmm.
just they just threw these other 7 on. Well, well, I mean the bone joint probably was already on the album. You probably like if you got a joint with bone, you probably. But yeah, it just that's like if I were to do this. See, like now, if I were to say, okay, I just want to throw 4 more songs onto the first disc.
Mm-hmm.
See, now as I'm looking at it, I probably would. Notorious Thugs probably won't make it for me. It probably
Mm-hmm.
will be like 40's last 5, and it will. I'd probably keep Sky's the Limit just because it's a. I would probably. I'd probably do Sky's the Limit, The World is Filled, Long Kiss Goodnight, and You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You. So I probably want to include My Downfall. Um,
If you do Long
but
Kiss Goodnight, you're nobody till somebody kills you. The World is Filled, Sky's the Limit, and put those on the first album, and maybe the
yeah,
Bone. Um, that would be an amazing album.
yeah. And see, but then I'll even make the argument to go like, so okay, then we're at 17, but then we take off. And with the big is the interlude, so I guess really, and you got the intro, so really you only got like 15 joints if you really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I guess I will keep. I'm
I'll
gonna
take
make the argument.
Last Day was not make it. If I had to pick over Last Day and those songs on that disc, I would not keep it. I'd take Fucking You Tonight off too. But that's a bigger crossover type of song, that can, it would have been a video for that. It would have been a single. So I'm not, like I said, it's not a bad song. It's just, just out of preference. Like I said, I don't have any fight against the song, but at the same time, that would be, I would probably.
I mean, it's like the appeal.
I would pull it just based off of preference of listening. I wouldn't pull it based off of success. Like if I'm an A&R trying to sell this album, I would leave Fucking You Tonight on it.
Yeah. And like I could take Last Day off just because I think I'd be going with like these are the three words for, or especially Long Kiss Goodnight and You're Nobody to, like those are the dark joints that I like that if I had to, but see, I might consider taking More Money, More Problems off. Because then I guess I look at it as like, okay, if you cross over, I got Hypnotized, I got Fucking You Tonight, I got Sky's the Limit. I might keep it.
Yeah.
I keep it. I don't know if I would. I'd probably keep I Got a Story to Tell too.
I would keep I Got a Story to Tell.
Yeah.
Like I said, it might be somebody's got to like I said, I think it's a good song, but now I tend to it's weird because when I listen to the album, I listen to it from front to back.
Yeah.
I listen to Somebody's Gotta Die. I listen to Hypnotize. I listen to Kick in the Door. Then I skip Fucking You Tonight. And then sometimes, it's depending on how I feel, I'll listen to Last Days, but most likely I'll just go to I Love the Dough.
Yeah.
And then I go to What's Beef. I skip the interlude just because it's an interlude. Then I go to More Money, More Problems, which I really like. Then I go to Niggas Bleed and I Got a Story to Tell. So it's not really a lot that I skip on there. I skip based off of preference. I don't skip because they're bad songs.
Yeah.
I think Last Day is a good song. I think Fucking United is a good song. I think Somebody's Got to. I listen to Somebody's Got to Die, but
Yeah. I mean, it was a good album. I think double disc are hard to pull off. Like I think.
What would you rate this as a double disc within hip hop?
You talking about like on the mic rater?
Well, like against other
albums. Mm-hmm. Well, I think I like it better than All Eyes on Me. Like the Woo's up there. Like to me, the Woo makes sense because they're a 9 MC. Well, 10 if you throw a Kappa down on.
It's unfair.
Yeah, so I feel like that they made sense to do a double album. Like it makes sense. So if you talk about like, I don't know any other groups that might have done one, but like if you talk about like just solo artists, I'm often trying to remember the ones that are out there. Like Bone had one, but I'm not a Bone fan.
Don't care about them. I'm talking like
Nas,
but like Disciple, Jay-Z, Blueprint 2, 8 Ball, 3 album, triple album disc.
I probably go.
I have that on record somewhere.
Do you?
I got it for free because he was on, I think, Columbia or whatever. But yeah, it was. He had a song in Never Red Man that I liked.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That was a 3 album or a 3 disc. I was like, why is he doing this? But then I ended up getting it, through the record label. But
I'll probably go Big, Pac, Jay, Nas. I won't rank 8 Ball because I never did listen to that album. I did listen to that joint Red Man.
I was just throwing that was a total joke. We are not including that in this. I mean, because I could have said UGK too, but
Oh yeah. But you talk about those 4 solo ones, like I'd have to do another run through of Pox. Actually,
and I want to do a break. We're gonna do that too. I want to do a breakdown of All Eyes on Me because ironically, I like All Eyes on Me more than I like Life After Death, even if I feel like I'm maybe a bigger fan of Big than I was of Pac.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, because as I'm trying to think about that album, I know off the top of my head, I didn't care for that What's Your Phone Number. Yeah, that's I'm looking. I didn't care for What's Your Phone Number, but like that ain't worse than another.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a bad song, but Fallen Soldiers, I think it was. I can't think of. No, it was, I think Trading War Stories.
Yeah, which I do like Trading War Stories.
Yeah, I can't. I think is it called Fallen? I feel like it was a song. I can't think of the name of it. But I know. Life goes on. Life goes. Like, I hated that hook. I think it was called Life Goes On or whatever. It might have been like number 10 or something like that. Because I know it was right. It was around.
Yeah, Life Goes On. It's track number 9.
Right, it's either right before or right after. Only God Can Judge.
Yeah, it's right before. It's between. So it's Hearts and Man.
That song.
Life Goes On, and Only God Can Judge. Yeah, I think that. But like, yeah, as I look at it, and he actually had like 27 tracks, so he had 14 and 13. No, like I said, we're gonna do a little.
Yeah, we do this one because, like I said, that shit. It was like it. Like I said, that song wasn't a bad song. I wouldn't say it's as bad as another, but at the like I don't know, man. I really like this album. Even though it led to the demise of Tupac, this album was of course, there were songs on there that, like I told you, I hated Shorty Wanna Be a Thug.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a bad song. It was just the energy of the song at the time compared to the rest of the album. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm bro looking through it now. Like it was
it didn't age. I mean, it aged well, in my opinion. If you go back and listen to it, like it's not. I mean, because you got songs that were popular, but you know they were kind of annoying to me just because it was kind of like jiggy. You know what I'm saying? Like, How Do You Want It? Like, How Do You Want It is a really good song. You know, like you have Every Other City We Go, We See the Same Hoe. Like, that was a really good song, but it just felt like, you know, it was kind of. I was not necessarily. I never picked sides because I always like both of them, but it was almost like listening to it to see if there was any reference to Biggie or anything like that. So
right,
but
I think I might actually go with All Eyes on Me. Like I feel like All Eyes on Me and Ready.
More cohesive.
It's more cohesive, and I think. That's probably what it is. Like I think it's because even like I scrolled through the second disc, like their cohesiveness there. Like I think that's probably what does it for me. It's just like that second disc on Life After Death is just like sloppy. Like it's just like and like I'd probably be interested. Like if I were to do like the top 14 tracks off, like I'd probably try to look and take like what I consider the top 14 tracks off of each album.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, because like you said, I mean, no, listening to niggas bleed, I may go on a record and like I said, I have to go back and listen to it, but I could probably go on record and say there's not a song on All Eyes on Me that I would feel that would be better than that song, even though I love songs like I Ain't Mad at You, Ambitious as a Rider, etc. It's just like, but just just going through and just listening to that album, I just like it's a very good listen, you know, like and it's not really a lot of, even when even after the Shorty Wanna Be a Thug, the next song I think is with the Outlaws, and I really like that song. It's like with the Outlaws and what's the dude, Big Psych, I think. Because every time I think of Big Psych, all I think about is the Eminem lyric where he's where he's freestyling. He's like, said something like, "I'm Tupac and you just one big psych" or something like that. Or whatever. I'm gonna watch that shit. I think it's from the Rap Olympics and shit. I'm gonna watch that shit from '97 and shit. I'm gonna watch that shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, let's wrap up. Great podcast. I think it was dope to get a chance to talk about, one of the artists that, at least I hold in high regard, and I think you as well. But so it's just dope to get a piece of that and and talk about it. I've always said we can talk about dope albums and stuff like that. Let's have these conversations because this is what it's all about. I mean, we could talk about current shit all the time, but we're like our music is, how I feel like we, came together in a sense. So, that can always be a major catalyst for the podcast as well. So, but we are going to it. We may not do the All Eyes on Me like next week or the week after, but we can eventually lead to that because the playoffs are starting and we want to talk about that a little bit and stuff. So, but yeah, that's primarily it, man. It's great talking to you as always. We're wrapping up. Thank you all for listening to the Reality or Not podcast with your homie Eddie Williams and your boy DJ Reality. Have a good week and talk to you all soon. Make sure you like, subscribe, and say something dumb in the comments. I don't give a shit. Peace.